Hi, my name's Tom and I'm a first year medical student at Edinburgh University. I'm also the founder of the YouTube channel You Can Do Medicine, and I'm just here to share my story and journey of how I got into medical school. And so I'm a mature student, obviously. I'm 37 and originally from Glasgow, and my experience at school was that I had no interest in it whatsoever. I did terribly at school. I left with 3 C's. It was just about going out, girls, parties. That was my experience. And so when I left school, I just started working in the hospitality industry. Through that, I got a real interest in beer. Sort of interested in craft beer before craft beer was a cool, hip thing to be into. And I sort of worked my way through some jobs in pubs and whatnot, and got to know some people just from the sort of hobby side in the industry before moving to London when I was 22. When I was down there, I worked my way through some pub management roles and brewery sales as well, before when I was 25 I had the opportunity to open my first pub, which was an amazing experience. The pub that we opened is still there. It's still doing really well. It's still a very iconic craft beer bar, and it was so successful that over the next 6 years we went and opened another 8 pubs. And that whole journey has really had a massive impact on my life, as I joined up as the beer geek, the beer guy. I did all the beer tastings. Through it I got to be like the judge on international beer competitions and these kind of things. But the role developed into being about staff. I was in charge of 75, 85 staff, whatever it was. And I tried to engineer the role so that it was far more about helping staff, developing staff. But I began to realise I can't help people in the way that I want to, as it is. And so after that 6 years, I made the most difficult decision in my life. I said, I need to get out of the industry. I need to go and figure out how it is that I get into this. So moved back to Glasgow. No idea what I was going to do. Staying in my sister's spare room. Shambles of a life. And sort of spent the next few years trying to figure it out before starting a college course at Kelvin College. Now, I applied for mental health nursing, did not get in because I've not got any experience in the medical care industry, whatever. And the course that I got into was called Men into Care. It's essentially what you need to be able to work in a nursing home, etc. After 2 weeks of doing that course, they said, "Tom, I'm not sure this is ideally the thing for you with what you're wanting to do." And so they got me into a course called Access Intro to Medicine, which is a kind of catch-all for everyone that's looking to do medicine, nursing, dentistry, dietitian, you name it. And they do that year and then go on and do their main year. So from that I was like, I can do this, I can go and do mental health nursing, it'll be great. But I did very well, and as time was going on, the tutor saying to me, "You could always apply for medicine, you know that?" And I was like, "Me? I'm too old to do medicine. Surely they wouldn't let me in." And it wasn't on my radar at that time. But at the end of the year, I was one of the top of the class and made the decision to go into the Access to Medicine course. It's a big risk because it's got a really low success rate. Went in, that course is extremely intense. You're doing a lot of HND level modules, and also as soon as you're in, you have to be applying, and it's just fast paced, the whole thing. But at the end of the year, I'd done everything that I had to do. You just have to get your head down when you're doing something like that. No distractions. I pushed everything that could bring drama into my life to the side and just focused on the course. And it worked out. So I was in Glasgow at the time. I didn't get into Glasgow. I did get into Edinburgh. and I had a big overhaul as I had to sell my flat there and buy this flat here. And it's not the ideal start, I would say, because I didn't actually move until 3 weeks into the course. And so that was a bit of drama at the start of the course. But, it's gone fine so far. And I've passed all my exams and essays and whatnot as things have gone. And as this is the end of week 6, so we're halfway through semester 2. Loving the course. It's a really unique thing for me. University life's all new to me, and coming in a bit older, a very different experience. Can be a bit lonely at times because you're surrounded by 308 18-year-olds. But that's not true. There are some other older students, but the vast majority of them are all younger. And so maybe a different experience, but it's going really well. And I'm glad that I took the risk. It's not that the course is easy; it's incredibly difficult. There's so much to learn, unexplainable for me to tell other people how much content to learn. But it's the path that I've chosen, and I know what I need to do. So it's just about getting the head down and getting on with it. But so that's my journey, and I will shamelessly self-promote and say check out You Can Do Medicine. And it's a new channel, so forgive me the amateur nature of it, but the videos are mainly about other students and their journeys of how they've got to medical school, and just some blog pieces from me about my journey and tips for living. So I'll hope to see you soon. Cheers. Bye.